Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Now in our last video we got the water level back up in the pool. We got the pump running again, but we weren't having really good water flow. Normally there's a significant amount of water coming out of that jet and it's just really anemic. And I kind of resigned myself yesterday that I was going to have to maybe replace the pump. But I was thinking about this last night, and there's a couple things I want to look into before I do that, because one of the things I noticed was that the pump seems to sound right. It sounds like it's running. It sounds like it should be working. It doesn't sound any different than it normally does. So I started thinking, what else could be the problem? I started thinking, well, maybe there's an obstruction in the plumbing somewhere. Maybe there's something wrong with the impeller inside the pump. I want to look into those things, because if it's something I can fix easily, I'd rather do that than shell out a bunch of money for a new pump and then have the problem not be fixed anyway. So that's the first thing I think I want to do, is I want to pull that pump out, take it apart like I did last year, look inside and see if there's something weird going on with the impeller, and maybe run some something through the plumbing to see if we got a plug up in there. It's possible like some leaf material or a stick or something else got into the plumbing, and that could be part of the problem. So I want to start with the obvious things first, and then we'll go from there. Okay, this is interesting. I actually pulled the cover off of the pump and actually stuck my finger into that little hole back there. That's where the water goes through, and the impeller is like back here. And there was like a stick in there, and there's maybe some gunk in there. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to pull this pump out. I'm going to move it into the garage. I'm going to take the front part of this off, and let's make sure that we don't have something inside the impeller that's plugging everything up, because that may be all this is. And if that is it, then that is good news. All right, I got the pump apart, and yep, that's the problem. Look at that. I got all sorts of leaf waste in there. So, all right, all we got to do is clean that out. The impeller, it seems to be in good shape. I just got a lot of gunk in there, and that's interfering with the water flow. That doesn't completely surprise me at all. So, that's the solution. We just got to get this thing out, get the leaf waste out of there, and we should be back in shape. That's good. That's a lot better than having to spend a whole bunch of money buying a new pump. All right, now that I got the impeller all cleaned out, I just got to put this thing back together. And if memory serves, that was not an easy task last time, because the way these bolts that hook the thing together, they just swim loose in there. And so if you push them, you end up pushing them in, and then they don't make contact with the nut on the outside. So yeah, I remember I had to fight with this quite a bit last time to get it back together. This was not the best design thing in the world. All right, got the thing back together. Yeah, it's a real colossal pain in the neck to do it, because these bolts have, well, these nuts here have a bolt that isn't secured in there. It slides in and out of the hole, so you have to try and get the thread to catch and pull it in, and then there's no way to grab onto the back there, so you're trying to tighten the thing up without having the nut or having the bolt in the back rotating. So yeah, that took probably 20-30 minutes to get that thing back together. That definitely wasn't designed for someone like me to work on this, but I think it's going to work now. Let's get it back out there and see what happens. All right, yeah, now we're definitely cooking. Now we got some serious water action going on here. So yeah, that's what the problem was. One of the issues I realized that I had a problem is that this little valve here should be showing pressure, and it wasn't showing any pressure. Right now it's showing 12 psi, so that's a good thing. So that, I think we've got this problem solved. I got another little issue I got to deal with. I got a little bit of a leak coming out of here, and I think it's just because the little gasket that went around here is probably old and needs to be replaced. I was going to take a trip over to the pool place again and have them look at the water and make some chemical recommendations about how I'm going to solve all this problem. So I think I'm going to take that gasket off, take it over, see if they have a replacement for me, and if that will help solve my problem a little bit, because this isn't just going to be a filtration issue. This is going to be we got to do some clarification and all that, and So that sometimes requires them to analyze the water, see what's going on, and give me the chemicals I'm going to need to get this all clarified. But we are well on our way. We got good water pressure coming out of this thing now. The filter is starting to do good work here. The skimmer should start getting some of this leaf material off of here, and we are well on our way to being back in business. So like I said, I'm going to take our trip over to the pool place again now that we got this one little issue solved, and we'll go from there. Hello, little buddy. You enjoying the sun? You're not enjoying me following you around though, are you? Okay, so I'm back from the pool place. I got a replacement O-ring, and they also analyzed my water for me. They noticed that there were a few things that are on the low side. First off, they recommended I need to shock the pool. And I said, it's funny because I shocked it 2 days ago. In fact, I double shocked it. And they said, yeah, well, it's showing that there's like nothing there. And I had to concede, it's like, okay, well, the truth is I did shock it 2 days ago, but yesterday I put, somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 gallons of water in the pool too. So that probably negated everything. So we're going to shock it again. But like I said, I got the new O-ring, and we're going to get that installed right now, and then we'll shock it and we'll go from there. So this is the new O-ring they got. They also gave me this silicone lubricant, which they say will help keep the seal a little better. And already I can tell that the O-ring is probably a good thing to replace, because the other one had all sorts of dings and dents and divots and all that, and that's probably where the water was coming from. So this wasn't a terribly expensive thing. I think this was all of 15 bucks. So good investment, and we'll get it attached to the system here, and we should be good to go. Okay, we got the O-ring installed, got the lid back and clamped down. All of the hoses are reconnected. So all I gotta do now is just turn the pump on. And I guess it'd probably be a good idea to open this thing up too. Here, I closed this and forgot all about that. Still got a little bit of water leaking out of the side here, kind of still in the same place, so I'm hoping that will kind of seal down as time goes by. But for now, we're going to let that run. We do have good water flow coming through here, which is good. We got good water flow coming out of here, which is good. And I'm thinking maybe the little bit of a leak that is there on the side of the filter will probably get better as time goes on. See, already the pump sounds better. I don't hear the water squirting out quite as much anymore. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Like I said, there was some air in the pump, so we have to sometimes get that all filled up, and once that happens, then usually it'll get better. So we're going to monitor this. Like I said, I'm going to shock the pool again, because they recommend doing that. And basically, they're saying just keep the vacuum going, get the stuff off the bottom, and hopefully the filter will take care of a lot of this. We got a lot of movement in the water right now, which is a good thing. And so yeah, let's get some more shock chemical in here, and we'll catch up with you next time to see what's going on. So the last winter storm really pummeled my yard, but there's one thing that just shrugged it off and said, yeah, bring on your worst. My yellow rose of Texas. So I think that's all I have for today. This is my last day of my short weekend. I'm going into my long work week this week. So we're going to let the the pump and the vacuum do its thing over the next 4 days, and hopefully we'll be in a far better shape on my next weekend. Whatever the case is, we've made a lot of progress this week. We got the pool well on its way to being healed now, and with a little luck, it'll be ready to go when we get into swimming season in a couple of months. So I think that's all that I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.